Welcome everyone to the online tatting class advanced courses today. I have some treats for you all. Okay, Denise. Alright, when you're starting a ring after tatting another ring, how do you get the second ring to close? If all of your stitches are on the second ring correctly, it should close. There's no special tricks to getting the second ring closed. So y'all ready for class today? I know yesterday was a huge debacle. I apologize. I'm sorry that happened. I didn't have time to check video equipment and stuff before class. But yeah, it sort of kind of messed things up. Anyway, I do have an announcement. Sue has fallen ill. She has colitis and under doctor's care. So she is stepping away from the classes. She is going into retirement. And we do wish her well on that. Once she can get back up to snuff, she is going to start a blog for the students and to give inspiration to everyone. And also, she's going to be making videos for the classes. But that's down the road. We want her to get well first. So, I wanted to let everybody know, guess who you get for an intermediate teacher? Me. So, if you don't want me for an intermediate teacher, I'm sorry, but that's all we have. But we're going to still teach you in accordance to what you need to know when you need to know it, and in an order so it's not so difficult to learn special techniques. Thank you, Angie. Yeah, I'm self-moderating today, so y'all have to bear with me a little bit. Bernice, the problem with guest teachers is they need to have some form of way to video. Right now, I supply the teachers with the equipment that they need. And to supply half the world could get quite costly. But in the future, we're hoping to do that through another program. And we're just testing it to see. Hi, Nanetta. So, we'll get around to it eventually. Remember, we're new. We're still babies. It's baby steps. Yeah, Sue's going to really need all the well wishes that she can get. Seriously. She's got a rough road to hoe. Yes, Joy, she is a true blessing to everyone. Yes, I hope she does too, Denise. But according to the doctor, it's going to take some time. She was in pretty bad shape. But Sue's one of those that I'm sick, but I'll feel better after class. And she puts it off. Like most of us, we have other things we want to do that are more fun than going to the doctors. So, yeah, it may have went on a little bit too long. But they're getting her a dietitian and a nutritionist. So things are going to change in her life. And right now she needs to focus on that. And it's like I told her today on the phone. All I want is to hear you're better. Then we'll discuss everything else. Because that is the most important thing. Hi, Carolyn. How are you doing? So we're going to give it a couple of more minutes and let everybody get in here. And we'll start the class. I got some goodies to show you. So, Joy, you can contact her through the class email at the online tatting class at gmail.com. Laurel or Angie, can you all please put that link in the chat for me? Yes, her emails get forwarded to her without anybody seeing them. If her name's on it, it goes into her mailbox. Yeah, Angie, you take care of that for me. If Pam's not, I haven't seen Pam come in, but make sure you relay that to Pam for me, would you please? Thank you so much, ladies. I tell you, I've got wonderful students. Hey, Sue! My corner companion is here. I got some really good teachers, and I have some really good students, and I am thoroughly blessed to know each and every one of you. Let me tell you. Hi, Pam. Glad you made it. Angie's got a message for you. So, all right, ladies, let's get started. Today, I want to pick up and do what got messed up yesterday. First of all, tell me if you all are hearing an echo when I talk. I am tickled to death, Sue, you made it. Hi, Joanne. You're not late. You're right on time. Okay. Yeah, I know. She needs all she can get, Nanetta. She's not feeling well at all. And the medication that they have her on is making her very tired. So, yeah, she needs this time. Hi, Tasmanique. Hi, Christine. Hi, Robin. All right, Joy, you hit the nail on the head. Okay, so let's get started. Yesterday, I showed you all how to open a ring. Mind you, I was working with what I had, and that was the computer camera. So today, we do have a downshot camera, and that's what I'm going to use, and that way you can see a close-up view. I also want to explain the difference of posting your shuttle and not posting your shuttle on how your rings will look. All right? So with that said, and no further ado, let me switch cameras. And there we go. All right, this first ring here. Now, Pam, I need you and Angie to keep up with questions because when I go into the down shot, I do not see chat at all. Okay? Ladies, if you all can hold those questions till I call for them, I would appreciate it. Okay. Let me get this ready to show you. The first ring I'm going to show, I have posted this shuttle. Let me get in camera shop. This is all new to me. Sorry if I made y'all dizzy. As you can see, it looks like both of the tails are coming out the back side. Let me get these tails separated so you can get a better look at that. Can y'all see that? They look like they're both coming out the back side. It's because before I close this ring, let me get back down here. Before I close this ring, I drop that shuttle down through the ring to post it. And that's what it's called, posting your shuttle. You drop it through and it pulls this thread here, feeding to the shuttle to the back side of your work. So, that is posting your shuttle. This one here is not posted. This thread here goes to the shuttle, and this other thread is the tail thread. Can y'all see that? Let me move in just a little closer. Yeah, there we go. Can you see how one looks like it's coming from the front and one is coming from the back? That is how you know you did not post your shuttle. Posting your shuttle makes your rings easier to open if you make a mistake, because it doesn't lock up that last double stitch. Okay? Another thing, it makes it more uniform throughout. So, the first one we're going to open is this one here with the picots. Now, we have this thread here that goes to our shuttle. Alright, and it's located on this side right here. This is our tail thread. So you want to pull the picot closest to your shuttle. And you want to use your little crochet hook. Yes, that's a tiny, tiny crochet hook. You can barely see the tip. You run it down through that ring, that picot. Come up through the center of your ring. You see how the ring itself is overlapping? Grab your stitches and start working. The way I do mine to keep those stitches from moving is I roll that crochet hook, and it makes it loosen up. Then, once you get your core thread, can you see that? This is your core thread right here. This is your picot right there. Once you get the core thread exposed, pull out enough to grab a hold of. Now, you can grab a hold of it with tweezers. These are hackle pliers. Let me get them down here so you can see them. These are found in the fly fishing department at your local fishing store. Okay? Cabela's, I think, has them. I'm not sure about Dick's Sporting Goods, but Cabela's does have them. Amazon, you can get 3 pair for like $16. But they're stainless steel. They are a gripper. Okay? They're very hard to open and close. So, if you don't have strength, then my advice to you is to get something like this. These are called Crisscross Scissors. They're not really scissors. I use them for things that I torch, okay? It's to keep getting the fingers burnt. It's long. And they open up really easy, but you can put your thread in here and work it just like you do the hackle pliers. But these are easier. These are found in the jewelry department. Okay? You can also use, let me get it around here, Hemostats. Okay? These are Hemostats. They open like this. You can tell I don't use mine for tatting. I do many crafts. But they lock together. And you have to push one up, one down to open it. But those will grab your thread enough to pull it open. Tweezers, I don't mess with. Because with tweezers, you don't get the grip that you need. So, here we go. Let me lay this ring up so we can get it all situated here. Now we're working on opening this ring. We have managed to pull up that core thread and give us enough thread to pull with. So we want to keep pulling that thread to give us ample space to work with. See that? Now, once you do that, where your two ends meet, this is where fingernails come in handy, ladies. So if you can, grow them out. If you can't, don't do this with fake ones. You're liable to break them. Alright, you want to grab it in between those stitches, right there at the base of your ring. Now at this point, this is going to look like a mess. That's okay. It's supposed to be a mess. What you want to do is get this gap right here, and you're going to pull that core thread back through. And if you watch, that core thread that we have pulled up disappears. But you need to make sure you hold your stitches, because what will happen, this last one will curl over on itself if you do not post your shuttle. Okay? Should that happen, then you have to pick it out from back here. But you have room to work. That's how you open a closed ring with picots. Without picots, you just go in between a double stitch. Be careful. This requires band-aids when you use small crochet hooks, because you will inevitably drive it through your finger. Fair warning, wear band-aids if you're going to do this. Okay, and it doesn't have to be anything that's really sticky either. Just something to pad your finger. Alright, and the same principle. Roll it, get that core thread, pull him back up. The ones without the picots take a little more time and patience, but it's doable. Of course, I would pick a dark colored thread. You know, that's just the way I do things. Backwards. That's my life. So, you see, I'm pulling that core thread up. And then you continue on as you would with the one with the picot. After you get it pulled up enough, you stretch these apart, you work it out, and you make a mess of your ring. Then you can just start back, backwards, taking your stitches out. Now, I'm going back to the upshot to check for questions. Anybody got any questions on that? Yeah, thimbles are cool, Angie, but if you've got long fingernails, then thimbles don't work. Yeah, Sue, I know about that gap on the waistband, but I tat so tight that if I make a mistake in a ring, I just cut it out. Yeah, seriously, I'd rather tie in the ends than to fight with the ring. Only because doing that just really irritates me. And there's enough in life to irritate me, so just being honest there. Okay. Any questions? Beaded picots, you would still go in through the picot, pick up that core thread, okay, and open that ring. It will work. Just know those picots with the beads on them, they're going to roll around if it's on the picot itself. If it's added to the picot, then you're going to have to remove the bead to open it up. And I'll explain those in the next class, next week's class, beaded picots. So, all right. Any more questions before we move on? Yeah, they are harmless. They don't have a grooved plate to them, Nanetta. Nanetta says, I like your tweezers. It looks harmless for the thread. It's not grooved on the blades of those tweezers. So they grab it and they hold. And it gives you grip with your hands. Because some of them rings are a pain to get open, I'll be honest. Right. It's better to use it through the picot than between the knots, because once you use between the two knots, the whole thing gets wonky and you've got to back out more than you would if you had a picot there. Okay, the pliers are called Crisscross Scissors. Why they call them scissors, I don't know. They're not scissors. They're used in jewelry making. Yes, I used to make a lot of wire jewelry. Like I said, I'm an all-over crafter. Yes, I will touch on that, Joy. Remember, I'll be teaching intermediate and advanced classes. So yeah, y'all are going to learn a lot from me in the week. So I will get into that. Hackle pliers are the pliers that I use. These are hackle pliers. See. And they're, for people that have arthritis, they're so stout. They're really hard to open. I won't lie to you. They are hard to open. Yes, Harley, you can. Hi, Fred. The reverse tools. Okay, let me get it again. This is crisscross scissors. Is what they call them in jewelry making. You get them back in the beading department. What this is for is to hold wire when you're soldering or torching. And it is to keep you from getting burnt. Now, they do have some that are about like yay long. Okay? But they do the same thing. Okay? Just like that. There is no teeth on it. It's flat. And it's to keep from marring your wire that you're working with. Okay? So, crisscross scissors or crisscross pliers. But that's what they do. And they're really easy to open up. And I have tugged on these things in the past. And I'll be honest with you, you can't bend them. There is no bending them. Alright, let's get on to the next phase. Laurel, I know Sue had planned front side, back side, and the difference of front side, back side tatting. And let me see if I've got something here. I should have. Most of my tatting is done front side, back side. Okay. This piece here, let me do a down shot here. Yeah, those will work, Jan. Is it Jan or Jean? Okay, going to the down shot. Okay, front side, back side. Here we go. This is the back side of this doily. How can you tell? Well, right now, if you look at your picots, all right, look at where your picots are. See where you've got a picot? There is a gap, and it's like it's an unfinished stitch between the two legs of that picot when you're on the back side. When you're on the front side, it looks like a continual stitch. The stitches going around that ring show, okay, that it's a stitch on each side of that picot. Now, if it's backside, you're going to have, let me find one here, the difference. You're not going to see the two double stitches. Here we go, right here. Look at this right here. You see, it doesn't look like a finished stitch. See that? That is the difference between front side, back side. Why use front side, back side? Front side, back side tatting gives you a definitive front and a definitive back. Alright, let me take this camera out just a little. There we go. It will give you a definitive front, definitive back. That way when you present on the table, in the china cabinet, or whatever you're going to put it on, you have a beautiful, consistent piece. Okay? Usually, this is not always, usually your chains are done when you do the reverse work. If you do front side, back side, your chains is where it's going to be a difference in stitching. Whereas in traditional tatting, you just continue on. So any picots on your chains on the back side or on the front side, it shows. Any picots on the back side, it shows. There's no difference between front and back. They are all the same, okay? But it's tatter's choice. There's no tatting police going to come and say, you have to do that front side, back side. You do what makes you feel good and what kind of piece you want to put out. If it's something for a formal occasion, yes, use front side, back side. But it's everyday use. You can do traditional. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to say anything about the way you do it. So, that said, I am going to show you the difference. Let me get a different thread than that one, because that green is awfully dark. Yes, I'm pulling out my shuttle case. Yes, that is my shuttle case, making that racket. There we go. No, I'm not showing y'all my shuttle case, because y'all gonna want my shuttles. Alright. Now these are probably two different size threads, it looks to be. Two different manufacturers. But that's okay. It's demonstration only. Alright, so I have my two threads right here. I'm going to just tie a knot to show you the difference. And what I'm going to do is tat up a chain and a ring so that you can see the difference between the two. Okay, now we're going to do the ring in this color, the purple. And I'm going to do 15 double stitches so that you can see it. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put a picot in here. And that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, well, it's going to be 20. Okay, so y'all can have plenty of viewing room so you can see the difference. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Miscounted there, kiddo. That's okay. I didn't profess to be a math professor. Math was not my favorite subject. I will be honest. Craft class was my favorite. Art class. I loved art class. And here is our last 5 double stitches going on. Now again, I am using 2 different threads. So it doesn't matter because it's demonstration. Alright, I did not post my shuttle either. Now, on here you can see, on those picots, you see how you have both sides of the legs of the picot have a double stitch. Now watch what happens when I reverse my work and do a chain. Okay? Roll up on that. Yes, that knot's going to get in my way, but I can work with it. Now, front side, back side is what I'm doing first. Now, what I just did is the second half of that double stitch. Now I flip it and it comes over. Do the first half of that double stitch. You flip it and pull it over. We're going to do 5 picot 5. Okay, that's 2. Let's see, we've got a total of 3, 4, 5. Isn't it? Or did I get 6 in there? I may have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I got 5. Like I said, math wasn't my best subject. Can you tell? I didn't think I needed it. You know, I was a typical teen. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this is front side, back side, well defined. You'll see what I'm talking about. Move that knot out of the way so it doesn't distract. If you will look, the picot, oops, I'm out of shot. Sorry folks, slap me for it next time you see me. That picot right there has no double stitches on it. It's like it's just hanging there. On here, same deal. It's just hanging there. But when you turn it over, let's see, there you go. You see all your double stitches. That's what front side, back side is supposed to look like. Now, the next ring and chain element is going to be traditional tatting. So, we're going to just do a simple ring, not as big. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missed one. Again, math was not my favorite subject. That's why I still use a calculator. Alright, put in 5, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got fat fingers too. And 5. And we're going to put in a picot here and 5 more double stitches. Okay? Now what I did was I joined here. The type of join I did was an up join. We'll get into that next. 1, 2. Let's try that again. 2, 3, 4. I don't know why it keeps slipping off my finger. And 5. Okay, now I'm going to close that ring. And I'm just going to do the same type of chain. 5 picot 5. But we're doing traditional tatting. So let's choke up on that thread. That way I can clarify a few things for y'all. Now, you're just going in first half, then the second half. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to put our picot in. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, you remember we reversed our work, right? After doing our ring. Okay? Now look at this. You see, the rings have the 2 double stitches, but the chain doesn't. It's open between the legs. That's your difference. You have a definitive front and a definitive back. Okay? So, that explains front side, back side. We will get into front side tatting way down the road. Yes, there's another form. So, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to check chat. Are there any questions? Any questions, lady? Hi, Sue. Glad to see you made it. How you feeling? I'll talk to you later, Angie. So is there any questions on front side, back side? Thank you, Arlene. Coming from you, that's a huge compliment, I have to say. All right. So, do we want to get into the stacked rings? Is that what you all want to learn? Is stacked rings? Well, let me show you what stacked rings look like. Do y'all see that? They're stacked on top of each other. They are joined. As you can see, well, let me get back in shot here. They're joined right up here at the top, right there. These are stacked rings. Now, where do you use stacked rings? Well, you use them to make things like this. This pair of earrings. This is a Karina Mayfelt's pattern. She used to sell this pattern, but these are her stacked rings. Now, I don't know if you can see. They're just laying right over each other, but you can see. Let me get something to point with here. You can see the other half of those rings on the back side. Turn that one over. You see? This is what they call Ankar's tatting, but it's also stacked rings. Okay, now, here's another way you can use stacked rings. Let me get this earring laid out. Do y'all see it? Let me get it over here. Now, I will tell you, this is not tatting thread. Okay? That last pair of earrings was tatting thread. Any guesses on what this is? Let me see. Let me go into chat. Any guesses on what kind of thread is in this earring? You're looking at Ankar's, Tuja. This is Ankar's tatting. Okay, this thread here is called tough cord. It is a nylon-based thread that does not stretch, has very little give to it. No, it is not sewing thread, and it's not polyester. I know you all have seen C-line cord. That is the same thing as tough cord, okay? The larger versions of it, they use for paracord, okay? No, it's not 3 strands of polyester. It is called tough cord. Now, I don't have any more tough cord, but I do have, and I'll show it to you, This is a size 5 nylon thread that is similar to it, and it's called Ceylon. Okay? It is used for macrame. Okay? It's tough. I mean, you can pull on this thing. It is not going nowhere. You can't break it. It is not upholstery thread. It's not quilting thread. It is macrame thread. And it comes in a variety of beautiful colors. But you see the sheen the thread has? That is the same sheen that you get with polyester thread. But you get the durability. C-L-O-N. Ceylon. Tough cord is spelled T-U-F-F-C-O-R-D. This comes on a spool like this. Tough cord comes on a round. Yes, Terry Dusenberry used Ceylon. Why did she use it? Because of its stability. Like I said, you can't stretch this stuff. So, I'm going to tell you, if you are going to use this, yes, Micro Ceylon is the smaller for beading in Kumihimo. A lot of people use it because they make the friendship bracelets and things like that, dream catchers, and they do use it for macrame. But the smaller Ceylon, I think it is called Ceylon 3, I'm not sure. It is this very tiny, tiny, tiny thread. Okay? And as you can see, it runs a close second to a size 30 tatting thread. This here is close in relation to maybe a size 10 tatting thread. So, you could make doilies for outside on your patio furniture with this stuff and just rinse it off in the sink and it will still hold its shape. Okay? Yes, it has a lot of bang for your buck. Okay? It's really a good thread. Let me see if I've got some size 3 in here. I may have. I'm not sure. It's probably in the other room. Now, you want to see some heavier. This is the largest size you can get in the Ceylon. Look at that. Now, you could use this to do just about anything. But I'm going to give you a piece of advice. You better condition it because you see how it is. It's springy. It's not pliable like your tatting threads. But I don't have the smaller Ceylon in this thing, in this drawer. Don't ask where it's at. It's probably packed in a box. Most of my stuff is in a box right now. But yeah, if you're going to do Ankars, because penny thread is so hard to come by, use this stuff. It's not going to give. If you use cotton thread when you're doing Ankars tatting, the problem with that is, yes, it will give. You can see, we got give here, and it stretches. That is the difference. It will give, and it stretches. And you don't want that in your jewelry pieces. This bracelet I showed you guys yesterday, the only give it's got is on length, and the only reason is because I'm pulling on this last loop. Okay, but I have made these bracelets using cotton thread like Elizabeth and put it on, and by that evening it's down here. It's because cotton stretches as your body sweats. Then when it dries, it shrinks back up. With this being a nylon thread, it doesn't do that. Alright, now here's some beaded. I know y'all have seen this bracelet. Yes, and I use magnetic clasp on my bracelets. This is just generic bead tatting. No, there's not a pattern. I threw this thing together one night. I needed a red bracelet for somewhere I was going, so I threw it together. But this is just general bead tatting. Now, these beads here were sewn in. Again, this is tough cord. Yes, it comes in a variety of colors. Yes, it is Tasmanique. I'll get into closing the large rings as we progress. Right now, I just want to give you an idea of what to expect in the coming days, weeks, and months. Now, this is bead tatting. Okay? Yeah, I did, Arlene, I pulled out my hair one time when it was real long, and just to see if I could tat my hair, and I did. So yeah, I don't advise anyone to do that, because you can't see the stitches, and if you make a mistake, you don't even know it. Okay, so here we go. This is some more of the Ceylon thread, and as you can see, it has no give. How do I condition it? Great question. Now, my go-to was Thread Heaven. I know you people have seen Thread Heaven. It is a thread conditioner. Looks like this. Okay? Well, Thread Heaven went out of business. And now they've brought in Thread Magic. And there it is. And they have similar texture. Okay? The difference between this one and this one's very sticky. When you lay your finger on it, you can pull and feel the sticky. The magic thread doesn't have that. You want the sticky. So, my advice to you as a thread conditioner for your nylon thread is beeswax. You will get the same sticky texture. Remember, it's going to get on your thread. Okay? It is going to be all over your hands. It's washable. All of this is washable. Once you finish your piece, wash it, lay it out flat, and let it dry. Do not, and I repeat, use an iron or a heat of any kind on any nylon or polyester thread. You will melt it. And then all that hard work is gone. Dryer sheets, Laurel, are great for cotton thread, but for nylon and polyester, that is a no-no. You create static. I know dryer sheets are supposed to prevent static, but it does not on those threads. In order to make it pliable, Tatiana, you have to be able to make that thread pliable. So it works with you, not against you. Does that make sense? Okay. Another thing, another little tool of my little toolbox here. I don't know if y'all have ever seen these. You see the name? You can get them on Amazon. Okay? Not in Ankars, Pam. Once you get them stitches on, they're locked. Yes, I will be teaching that. Not this week. Now, this little needle box, okay, let me show you a little thing about these little needles. They look skinny. They are skinny, but they have this little tiny head. These are called Venus bead needles. Now I'm going to show you a unique thing about it. I know you all have seen the beading needles that have the eye, and when you run the thread with the thread in there on your needle and you take it through the bead, it smashes this little hole. Well, my dears, This is worth every penny's investment. I bought these, and I don't need any more beading needles because these hold their shape. And I think it was like $6, and I got all those needles that are in that box to go with it. Now watch this. I have some very tiny beads over here. Oh, and another thing that I use, if I can find it, something I find is an invaluable tool. These are $5.89 at Amazon. Yes, condition all your thread if you're going to be putting beads on it. Thread conditioner. It's Magic. Here it is. Thread Magic thread conditioner. This is all you can get. Thread Heaven, you can't buy anymore. They're out of business. So if you happen to see some at a flea market or something, grab it. It's really good thread conditioner. Thread Magic took its place, but it's not as gooey. That's the only way I can call it, gooey. But Beeswax, and you buy that in the sewing department. It even has a little holder thing to put it in. You just run your thread through it. Okay? But I want to show you guys this. This is a bead mat. And guess what it is? It is a sticky bead mat. You know how you roll your beads out and they're just all over the place? Check this out. Ready? Did you see that? The best bead mat you can get. But here's your nice little trick to the trade. You see I've threaded this needle. Watch this. Let me get it up here. I want this bead. You see that bead moving? Came right off. Okay, now, here's my other little fantastic. You ready? I'm going to pull that bead down. And look, the eye is still stable. It can be reused. It is not distorted, been put out of shape, or anything. And it locks your thread on. And then you pull it off and put it back in your case. So, for Ankar's tatting, if you're going to really seriously do it, these are tools I advise you to get. These are called Venus needles. Okay, did I get that right? Venus needles. You get them on Amazon, and you get, I think it's like 6 or 8. I've lost a couple in there. But you see, the eye holds its shape. Let me open that up. It's got a little bit of a glare. You can see the eyes hold their shape. Okay? Yeah, they do have the sticky bead mats at Amazon. There is one other beading needle that I've used. I've used this for years. Okay? These are called Big Eye beading needles. Thank gosh for the sticky mat. It's a lifesaver. See how that thing opens? That's for people that are like me, blind. You can thread it. Don't have a problem getting that thing threaded at all. See that? That is something you can use. But the nice thing about all these needles is when you've got to sew in your ends, go for it. And they will hold their shape. Okay? You can sew them like needle and thread sewing, or you can use them to tat over your tails. Either way, these work when these don't. And these are great unless you're using beads. These will break trying to pull it through any of the threads that we use for Ankars. So, now, hints, tips, and tricks. Let me switch the camera back up. So, any questions? Yeah, I love the bead mat. What I like is if it gets dirty, you run it under the faucet, rinse it off, clean it off, and then guess what? It's sticky again. It's very sticky. You can see. Let me show you. See how it's pulling my skin? And I mean, when I'm working with beads, this thing stays with me. Y'all can see they're not coming off, but they're real easy to take off. Best investment I ever made. And I have one of these in my tatting bag everywhere I go if I'm working with beads, because I can flip it across my leg and I know them beads are not going anywhere. Yes, I will get into actual projects. But right now, if you don't learn the techniques, you are not going to understand the project. We have to take baby steps. I know we all want to run before we walk. Not possible. You need to learn the steps and the processes you must go through and know them by heart, by feel, by knowledge, in order to achieve beautiful tatting. Okay? Does everybody understand that? I know when I first started tatting, it was like, oh, I want to learn this. I want to learn that. You're just, it's like a kid in a candy store. Okay. You want to know what my tatting bag looks like? Here it is. Show of hands. How many people have one of these? I make them and I sell them in my shop. My shop has been closed for a while. Y'all want to see what this thing looks like? There she is. Yes, she's full of what I'm working on. I got everything I need in here. But this is my tatting bag. I make these tatting bags and I sell them in my Etsy shop. I also sell them at Tat Days. And right now my shop is closed because I'm trying to get my life back into a groove after losing my mother. She used to help me with the tatting bags. And it's been a rough road. The past few years has really been rough. So I haven't had time. But as soon as I get things settled again, I will get the shop open. Okay? And I will be putting stuff in there. Because I do make a lot of stuff. But everything I make is tatting related. If it's not tatting related, I don't mess with it. It's not worth my time because I am a tatter first, a crafter second. Yes, way I do the, let me show you real quick. Thread Heaven is a good example because it's my favorite. You know, I'm partial that way. Don't we all get partial to our little toys? Let me use this bigger thread. Okay, just a minute. I'll get that question about beeswax. Okay, you have thread. You have your Thread Heaven or your Thread Magic. The way you're supposed to do it, put your thumb on your thread. Lay it in there and run it through. Come back across, lay it back in there and run it through. Now this I learned when I was making beaded jewelry. I used to do bead weaving and I made beaded jewelry. And that is conditioning your thread. And as you can see, it's a little lighter and a little softer. Jackie. Okay, for homework. The name brand, well, let me go ahead and answer this question. The name brand of the beading mat is called Beadsmith. There you go. That's the front. and that's the back. Got it through Amazon. It's Bead Smith Supplies. In fact, it's got the price on here, $4. That's American dollars. I don't know what it is overseas. Yeah, I do love tatting. That is my first love. Well, my husband's my first love. Wait a minute. Let me think about that. I'll have to get back to you guys on that. We can ask him if you want. Alright, just kidding. As far as beeswax, you do, when you're conditioning with beeswax, you do it the same as the Thread Heaven. You do it the same as Thread Magic. You run it through. And you only have to do it a couple of times. It relaxes the thread so that you can use it. Everybody wants one. I will get the shop open, but right now I'm just trying to get the classes settled and get life back to normal. And plus we're packing and going through things, and I don't know, I've just went through one of the worst times of my life, and now I'm having to separate myself from things that I don't want to separate myself from. Not right now. And so yeah, I'm having a difficult time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I'll get through it. I'll get past it. Tatting has been my lifesaver yet again. Yet again. So, spread the word. Yes, you do use that with Ceylon. I condition any thread that I am going to put in a bead. Any thread I'm going to use with beads. Thank you, ladies, for sharing those links for me. I do appreciate it. Yeah, that's me, Harola. I have 4 of these bead mats on hand. I keep losing mine, you know. I mean, I think I left it somewhere, and then I'll think, where did I use it last? And I can't find it, and it's right in front of me. Yeah, the bead mat now comes in 3 sizes. Now, the reason I choose the small one is it's easily carried in your pocketbook. It's easily carried in your tatting bag. The big ones, if you bend them, you create a humpty that won't go away. Okay? Another thing, you can slingshot these things up against the window and it'll stick. Yeah, I've tried it just to see. So, that said, ladies, next week we will pick up with the remainder. I did not get into working the stacked rings today, but next week we will do that. We're going to just take it slow. We're going to take it easy so that you guys get this. I don't want to move on to new techniques till I know that you got it. All right? Because all it's going to do is confuse you. I don't want any confused students. Okay? I want you all on the path so that when you tat something up, you can hold it up and say, hey, I'm proud of this. And this is something I can show to the world. All right? So, any other questions? Last call for questions. Yes, I just demonstrated that, Tasmanique. I can do that again. You just run the thread through. You lay it across. I'll even do it on the Thread Magic so you can see. You open it up. And if you notice, the Thread Magic has these little grooves. That's so you can take your thread, run it down into the Thread Magic, and you only have to run it through once. Yeah, it'll fit in a small CD case. Okay? And there you go. Run your hands across it, and you're done. It's conditioned. Thread Magic, I would do it a couple of times. I really would. But the Thread Heaven, it's a one-shot. You want both sides of the thread coated. And if you get it down into the Thread Heaven, it'll do it one swipe. So, any other questions? Hi, Mike. I didn't even see you come in. How you doing? You're welcome, Robin. So, before we leave, hit that like. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. And hit that notification bell so the next time we go live, you're notified. So until next time, folks, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful day. If it's raining, I'm sorry, we've run out of life preservers here. Rowboats are next. But I hope sunshine falls on you. So, happy tatting. Have a wonderful week. And may your thread always make beautiful lace. Have a great day, guys.